Alright, let's use that. Let me send you the network. It would seem that we're going to have to use Hamachi because we have 3 bars and it's not going so well. So Solar R Dragon was the IGN. Eventually in Tag 2 it still remained Solar R Dragon, but then I was like, I want to change that. Carl loves cheese. So I thought of something. I was like looking towards a lot of dictionaries and stuff like that. And Frontier came to mind. Well, not really. It didn't come to mind through that. And as I say that, I lost 10 seconds in an instant. So, you know, there were other inspirations. So that's why you see the FP-ism, right? Like, that's the page URL. That's where the FP-ism came from. That's like through looking at the dictionaries and whatnot. Oops. The Frontier, however, that came from a manga. I was reading... I think it was a martial arts manga. I know it was like 1 word, so... If I can find the manga, I'll tweet about it, right? That's where my IGN came from. But I don't remember it anymore because I believe it's a completed manga. So as soon as I was done reading it, I was done. Was it called Fighting? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's where the Frontier came from. So the FP-ism came from like the dictionary thing. Because a lot of people already used Frontier as page URLs, so I couldn't, you know, I wasn't able to reserve that domain. And I didn't want to use Solar R Dragon. Yeah, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Exactly. It's like our first, what do you call this, emails to begin with, right? Our first emails as kids, like when you create an email, right? And you're like, you have to be this age. Forever like, KND, indeed. Yeah. Indeed. We still are, technically. It's just that we don't put the team name no more. Seth, do not expect your boy to get any buffs anymore. If he gets buffs, it's because they're biased. They're favoring Mr. Steve. As he is right now, he's fine. Like the nerfs are okay. Ano daw? What are you saying, bro? K&D was basically just Kids Next Door. Oops. Ouch. Of course, some people thought it was knockdown. And I'm like, yeah, because there's a term in Tekken for knockdown, right? And that was K&D. So I'm like, I'll take that. Joshua loves cheese. Yeah, he's a golden boy, man. If he gets another good tool, like any good small tool that's still safe, that's gonna add to his value. Like this Pab Forward 1+2, he didn't really have to get it. And that turned into his like instant punish for stuff that are -13 with major pushback. For as long as again you have the execution to do so, right? No. By Daya? What do you mean by Daya? He wasn't cheating by any means. K&D was like how many members? 3, 4, 5. It was around 6 to 7 members. It was a small team. Alright, straight to the face. Counter hit back 1. Trying to get to tie it up 1 all apiece. But Raiden, all or nothing. The hop kick, believing in it. 1, 2. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, wow. I'd say quite ballsy of me. Harris looks too. Final round. Oh, I was playing Asuka off stream. I said that in like the last Road to Blue Cheese. And I found it really difficult. Because there's a lot of weaknesses and stuff like that. And I was like, wait a minute. This is not what it feels like when I was playing against the character. So yeah, I'm interested in playing Asuka. That's too slow. I'm gonna finish Lucky Chloe first because she's already at Eternal Ruler, which is crazy. So, whatever character is gonna get a bonus immediately. That's 1 all. I mean, it could be. Like removing the homing and the DF. Oh no, +1 even if I don't use Steve. Yeah, exactly. Kahit one side lang. What do you mean it's 0-2? Oh, you're right. I updated the score in the wrong way. Give me a second after this round. I don't know, like defense is like on my MO a lot, and Asuka technically fits that bill. The only issue is that most of the time you see a lot of the high-level Asukas play more offensively, and understandably so, like with the weaknesses of the character. But I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it mainly defensive. And I was like, oh, it's mid galore. Like I was having fun, like when I was playing it off-stream quick match. But I obviously have to put in more work to make it work. And I should probably also get in shape if I really want to make it work for 7 slices of cheese. Yeah, it's 1-1. There, it's fixed. I just don't like the fact that her range is kind of not really there. Did you just while standing 2 versus while standing 2? Okay. It's the Tekken 7 original character bonus, right? They were nerfing knee Steve gameplay. Not everyone had a pocket Steve, man. Because it was literally just backdash, backdash, back 1. And then DF1. Like, it's very simple. Again, his ease of use is really high up there. Which character did I find easy doing Road to Blue Cheese? Probably Steve and Miguel, because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like, that was too easy. Because again, those guys are my mainstay secondary characters. So if we exclude them, Julia, Jin, and Anna are the other characters. So I'd say Anna was surprisingly really easy. Like, I got comfortable with the character really fast. Oh, you cannot do that, Raiden. You cannot. Oh my goodness. That's the wrong combo, but I'll take that 2-1. 1-1-2 lang. It's just like 1-1-2 for days, baby. I don't know if we can get more sets in. Oh, -10. So we have Raiden's Jin Kazama, and we have my amazing Steve combos. So Carl, it's okay if you, what do you call this? Get launched, because apparently I have no combos right now. It do be, it happens like that. Running 2, FF2. Oh, F2 should have worked. Should have been fine. But yeah, I don't expect him to get any buffs anytime soon, even in Tekken 8. And of course, it depends on like if they change the system. That's like the main thing for us, because every Tekken game, is it every Tekken game they change the system? Not necessarily. Because it was Tekken 1 to Tekken 5 was mainly air combos. And they added like wall mechanics, right, to Tekken 4 to 5, and they ironed it out in 5. Then they added bound, and they kept that for 2 games. And then now Tekken 7's tailspin. Ooh. Oh, okay. And it's a question if they'll keep tailspin for Tekken 8, which I think they should. Or maybe you give an option for both bound and tailspin, but that'd be a little bit crazy. There's gonna be so much stuff to lab. Like, okay, this character is better on tailspin or better on bound. And then, of course, it'll also depend solely on the stage or your opponent, maybe. That's a ton of work. That is not -14. Steve is a very safe boy. Like, extremely safe. Ah, no, I don't. It's okay for me if he gets nerfed more. But at the same time, maybe don't nerf him anymore. The ones who still need to get nerfed are like Pakum, Ram, and Leroy. Maybe including still Geese and Akuma. All the top tiers, basically. So we'll see if we'll have a final balance patch on the roundtable, if they announce anything in the roundtable. So I'm expecting either the roundtable or what do you call this? Evo for a Tekken announcement. Whether that be the Tekken 8 teaser or additional news on. And of course, Bound sometimes doesn't have higher wall carry, but wall damage is infinitely stronger. Oh wow, going under. Tailspin just gave everyone really long, what do you call this? Carry. So it's like it became a game of like who can get to the wall first. Like how Raiden's keeping me here at the wall with his Jin. Down back 4, that's plus. Back 1. Stay away. Oh no, while standing 2 out of nowhere. Savage Sword. No. Bawal. Zaya. Nerf Julia. For me, it's only just the DF2. That's the only thing I need nerf. Let me interrupt Julia when she does the DF2 follow-up. That's it. Aside from that, everything else is okay. Back to 1. Alright, on point. Claudio Jin. That's a good combination. It's also preparing for Tekken 8. You cannot do right sway into 2. One, okay, tidal wave. How do you approach Steve Paul? Number one, punish. Number one is punishment, because like if the Paul always, what do you call this, does Death Fist and Demo Man, and the Demo Man doesn't trip you, Sonic Fang's like your most consistent punish there. And for the most part, both characters neutral are pretty good. So it's just that Paul can go in more explosive. So as Steve, you just want to keep your neutral as much as possible, because your offense for the most part is always going to be small mix-up after small mix-up. So if you can keep them guessing on their toes, it's going to be great. Harold loves cheese. DF1. Man, hell sweep. Oh, that's like the only time Steve uses a kick. You cannot. There is no follow-up allowed. I mean, that's how I would approach it. The rest is still opponent dependent. So you get rid of all the stuff that push back. Oh, well, lucky for Steve, right? Since his while standing one is 11 frames. Paul's gonna get, you know, all of Paul's best lows. That's like sidestep 3, QCB 3, right? They'll all eat a while standing one too. So you can play around that. It's just that he has a parry as well. I'm not sure if his, what do you call this? Wait, for those in chat who know this, can Paul's reversal be chicken? You give them a situation where your back one can fit. Okay, we're going straight for damage. That's been Raiden's MO. Tag 2 pa rin. I don't like Tag 2. It's definitely a flashy game. But would I play Tag 2 again? I would not play Tag 2 again. So Tag 3, I'm pretty sure I'll still hit that within my lifetime. But I'm probably not going to be happy playing it because there's going to be Leroy and Fakumram in there. I'll be like, oh, it's these guys again. And then every time you're in rank, it's just all the top tier characters. You're just like, it's just like sigh. You just keep, you know, sigh. And there's no sigh of relief. You're just like, I gotta do it again. If they're able to get like Akuma back, then Akuma's gonna be there. Akuma Geese, like if they can get those characters back. Because Gon's not in Tekken Tag 1, right? No, he's not. Ooh. You're gonna have to get rid of that, because that's gonna be free for a lot of Steves. Although there are some stuff in Tag 2, or like a Tag Tekken game, that I'd love to do. Like I want to see how my Horang Miguel dynamic would work. Because again, you pair two best of your two characters together. Because after that, you go for Tag Synergy. Tag Synergy is always the most important part. And if the character's like built for Tag, so if they have Tag bufferable stuff and all that kind of stuff, you say stuff twice. Just like, you know, you get 2 slices of red cheese, which is a KO. Beautiful punish. Again, the back one's really... I think that's a nerf they could have not put, which is the back one with window. Because it's like easier to launch punish it. It was already launch punishable in previous seasons, but very, very difficult. I'd say Season 1, probably you were barely launching it. Season 3, you could already launch it. Season 4, they just made the window really, really big for like any small punish. So if any nerf, they could have gone... They could have... That's the nerf that's okay compared to like, let's say the DF2. But again, it's like the all-in-one homing move, so... And they noticed everyone just kept doing that rather than realigning and all that kind of stuff. Oh, the comeback potential of Lars. Insane. I mean, even now, his comeback potential is pretty big. Like, if he gets one counter hit down back 4, or any launch, that's gonna go straight to the wall. And of course, they gave him a second rage drive, right? They did. So Raiden's been all in. It's not the nothing, it's just all. A great punish Frontier, truly an inspiration. 1, 2, back 1. You gotta watch your frames. It didn't splat! Oh no. Oh no. You know what happens? I hit him. And that's gonna scale like crazy for 5 slices of cheese there for Raiden. 3 all? It's like that Darth Vader meme where he holds his fist and he's like, it is acceptable. DF1. Ryan loves cheese. Hold on. Slowing down the pace is what I'm doing right now. 1-1. 1-1-2. There you go. Just following what Chester knows. CD1. Alright. Back forward 2. Evil intent. Ooh. Wanting to have more. Plus. Keep him there as much as possible. That's alright. I do need to get to the 4 first. That is priority number 1. That was just a jab. That was just a jab. Okay, plus. Know your frames. What are the perks of having multiple characters? A lot, actually. Most especially if you're proficient at those characters, right? So it's still so it's not what do you call this, having multiple characters. It's about the skill, the skill level of those characters. So let's say you're Knee, right? He loves cheese. Having that solid rotation of like Steve, Paul, etc. Devil Jin, you know, his mainstay rotations in tournament. Having those characters at such a high level is a huge perk. Because that means you can just keep swapping. And we know how, you know, he's counterpick players. So that's like the main advantage usually isn't high. So if you're the opposing Hwoarang's like level 75, and let's say your Dragunov's at like level 60, that means your Bob's gonna be somewhere around like level, give or take, 30. And that's not gonna help you against like someone who is pretty good. So it's like, what matters is the quality of said characters. I haven't punished a single thing with back 1, 2, or 2-1, right? Yeah, I only know what the cheese tier knows, which is 1-1-2. So that's like the main perk of having multiple characters. It's the ability and comfortability to swap to any character depending on the situation. For you. Whether you want to do it, of course, objectively on paper stuff, like, okay, this character has this character is a bad matchup for this, or this character is a bad matchup for this player on this character, etc. Of course, aside from that being the main advantage, one potential con is that if you aren't, what do you call this? Flexible. Like, let's say you can play multiple characters, okay, but let's say you're not flexible in the moment. By flexible in the moment, I mean like adapt in an instant. Like, okay, I swap to this character so I remember my moves, my punishes, and my combos. Like, I don't mess it up with another characters. That's probably the only con. It's a matter of if you're able to remember the stuff immediately, which I would kind of pretty much expect at a high level for a high level player to do. But of course, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It still does. Like, I remember, I think it was back in Playbook Locals, like FGC Friday. I forgot who it was, but I remember just like, oh, whoops, I'm playing the wrong character. You even hear me say that, like even in Road to Blue Cheese. Like, oops, I'm playing the wrong character. Like, that's not the move for this character. And an overload of information could potentially be another con, right? So aside from the flexibility and ability to adjust on the fly, the what do you call it? Overload of information, like, oh, it's like this for this character, this for this character. So technically you could count it as 1, but I'll separate it into 2. Oh, right, DF2 don't track. There you go, just sidewalk. Again, good games to Raiden. Good games.